there's people outside, cars, noise, the kids are home. There's gonna be background noise. I'm sorry. Okay. So the first movie that I want to talk about is Dear Santa. This came out on Paramount Plus. It stars Jack Black, Robert Timothy Smith, and it even has Post Malone in it. What? Okay. Rotten Tomatoes score as of this recording is 20. 20. Audience score is 44. Those are some pretty low scores. But when you look at other Christmas movies and their Rotten Tomatoes scores, I don't know what the deal is with Christmas movies, but they have terrible scores. I don't know. I was excited to see this movie, Dear Santa, because it has Jack Black in it, and I'm a Jack Black fan. I absolutely love Jack Black. So I had to see the movie, and the trailer made it look pretty funny. I gotta be honest, it was not that funny. It's a good movie for kids to watch, for family. Like, I enjoyed it. I watched it by myself because my kids don't really like sitting down to watch movies. They just don't. But, okay, so what is this movie about? Well, it's about a young boy. I say young, I think he might be 12 or something. Quite old for Santa, you know? But he decides to write a letter to Santa. And he has spelling issues. So instead of writing Dear Santa, he writes Dear Satan. And if you look at the letters, S-A-N-T-A, it's the same letters as S-A-T-A-N. So he mixes it up. So the letter goes to Satan. And who shows up? Jack Black, because Jack Black is Satan. But he kind of tricks the kid, and he's like, yeah, you wrote me a letter, you know, and then he realizes he meant to write the letter to Santa. So Satan, Jack Black, is like, yeah, man, it's me, look at me, and then he like changes into a Santa costume, and he's like, yeah, you get 3 wishes. So the kid, I don't remember what the kid wishes for, but then it turns into a thing where it's like, yeah, you get 3 wishes, but after you do your 3rd and final wish, I get to take your soul. Hold on. Sorry, I may be pausing periodically through the video because I have to cough. Anyway, so it's just about that Jack Black as Satan and a kid who is actually a pretty good kid. Once he realizes that this is Satan and not Santa, he's like, I'm just not gonna make any more wishes. I think it's a pretty cute movie. I enjoyed it, especially because there are some jokes in there that only adults will get. So, I don't know. Okay. The next movie that I watched was on Amazon Prime, and it is called My Old Ass. Yeah. It stars Maisie, Stella, Aubrey Plaza, Percy Hines White. And the Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 90%. Audience score gave it 89. And I would have to agree with that score. I kept pushing this movie off, because, I don't know, it kind of felt like it was going to be some teenagery, like, woke kind of movie, and I just wasn't about it. But I'm like, but it's Aubrey Plaza, like, she's hilarious. this, so I watched it anyway, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay, so what is it about? It is about this girl. I think she's turning 18. It's like during the summer. She's turning 18, and I think she just graduated high school or something, and she is going away to college. So over the summer is her birthday, so it's gonna be like her last hangout session with her friends and stuff. And before they hang out, their plan is to like go camping in the woods or something. Before they hang out, she's like, I'm about to leave for college. I have to gain the courage to talk to her crush. Okay, so she gets the courage to go and see her longtime crush, and it's this, I don't know, there's like a lake involved or something. I don't know where they live, but the girl she has a crush on works at like this, I don't know if it's like a bait shop or what, but she has to like pull up on a boat to go and see her. Anyway, so she kind of like, I don't know if she asked the girl out or what, I don't know, but she works up the courage to talk to her crush, and she talks to her crush, and the girl she has a crush on likes her back, and so she's like, oh my god, so they like kiss and make out and all that stuff. Super gross, right? I know. That's not the main part of the story. So, sorry. Anyway, so after she does her thing with her, I guess, girlfriend or whatever, her and her friends are like so excited to go on this camping trip now because she's like on this girlfriend high, right? So they go out to the woods and they decide for their last like major hangout, and since it's her birthday, they're going to get high on mushrooms. So I think they make the mushrooms into a tea or something like that. I don't know. And during this trip, her older self just shows up right next to her, and she's like freaking out, like, this is, man, I'm like tripping hard, right? And her older self is like, yeah, you must be, but dude, I'm you know, and she explains how she's her and stuff like that, and they've got like the same scars, and she knows all of the girl's secrets and stuff, and she's like, what the hell? Well, apparently this is like real or something, and future her is telling her things about her life, like she needs to really appreciate her time at home right now, care about her mom, and like, you know, blah blah blah. And so she's just like, okay, whatever. So they go to sleep in a tent, her and her future self, and future self puts her phone number in present self's phone number, and she labels it my old ass. And the next morning she wakes up and she's like, what the hell, that was a crazy trip. And then she's going through her phone and she sees it and she's like, what the hell? And so she calls the number and she realizes, oh my god, it's her from the future. I don't know how it works, it just does. It's movie magic, okay? And so throughout the summer she keeps in contact with herself and just gets advice, you know, because she realizes this actually is me, like, help me, you know. And so her future self tells her, you know, just stuff about her family and like whatever. And then she's like, but one word of warning, stay away from anyone named Chad. And she's like, why? And she's like, just don't worry about it, just stay away. Listen to me. Everything that I've said is accurate. You know that. Stay away from Chad. Well, what do you know? it's like, I would watch it again. I would watch it again, and I would want my husband to see it, because it's really a movie about life and experiences that you have. And even though bad things happen in life, you're meant to experience those bad things because you learn from those experiences. And when the bad thing happens, because it doesn't matter, whatever was going to happen happens. When the thing happens, or when you find out what is going to happen, I lost it, and I was bawling like a baby. I was crying so hard. I don't know why, it just really affected me, and I was crying my eyes out, but it was worth it, like, I don't know. I want to see the movie again. I would want my husband to watch the movie, but when I told him the experience that I had, he was like, because he doesn't like to have feelings like that in movies. He's like, no, I'll take your word for it. I don't want to experience that, but it's like, it's so good. It's so good. So good. So if you're looking for a good cry, or an unexpected cry that you're like, dang it, movie, you got me, my old ass. And when you start the movie, you're gonna be like, this movie's gonna make me cry. I don't think so. Yes, it will. Okay, let me make sure it's still recording. Okay, I keep having to pause because of my stupid throat. The next movie that I watched, this is kind of like, it's a Christmas movie, but it's not a Christmas movie. It was on Netflix. It's called Carry On. Carry On. It stars Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman. Rotten Tomato score gave it an 84%. Audience score gave it a 59%. I don't know. I guess those ratings are accurate. Would I watch it again? Probably not. Probably not. But it was something good to watch, I honestly, when I got done watching it, I was like, okay, this is like the modern day Die Hard. Because you know how Die Hard is technically a Christmas movie, but people fight back and forth. Is it a Christmas movie? No, yes, no, yes. I watched Die Hard for the first time in my life this year. Because I've never seen it before, and I was just curious, and I think that technically Die Hard is a Christmas movie because it happens on Christmas Eve, and there's Christmas decorations, and like with one of the bad guys, he puts a Santa hat on him and writes ho ho ho, like, that's Christmassy. This movie, on the other hand, it happens on Christmas Eve, but it's not really Christmassy, like nothing Christmas related. Like, I don't even see Christmas decorations, I don't think. But anyway, okay, so Taron Egerton is a TSA agent who works in an airport, and he wants to try harder at this job, because he was kind of just like coasting by. So he's like, you know what, I'm looking for a promotion, so he talks to his boss, and he's like, hey, can I do something other than this, and so they test him out, and they're like, okay, you can be the guy that looks through the little scanner, because like when you go through the airport, you have the little wand thing, you put your stuff in the basket, I don't know, the little tray, and then it goes through the thing. Well, there's somebody watching that little thing, so they're like, you can watch the little thing for like the first is this? I don't remember how it happens, but it's like a little earpiece, and he puts it in his ear, and then someone is talking to him. They know his name, they know everything about him, and it's some mysterious character. It's really Jason Bateman, and Jason Bateman typically does like comedies, because you wouldn't think of him as a comedian, but he's just funny, He is not funny in this movie. Not at all. He doesn't even throw in like his little Jason Bateman little side comments or something to make you laugh. No. He's very serious in this movie. And Jason Bateman is basically blackmailing Taron Egerton to allow a mysterious, dangerous piece of luggage to pass through security. And he's supposed to let it slip by on this Christmas flight. Okay. That's basically it, and it's much more intense than that, because these, I don't know if they're terrorists or who they are, but they're very smart. They know everything, because it wasn't supposed to be him who was there, it was supposed to be the other guy, and they were at the other guy's house ready to kill his wife and kids and stuff, and then they realized that guy's not in the chair anymore. It's this other guy. They immediately figure out who he is, find out who his fiance is, where they live, all this stuff, and it's action packed, but it's ridiculous. Like, I don't think it would ever happen, but it's still a good watch. And again, like, I just feel like it's the modern day Die Hard. I don't know. Okay, the next thing that I watched was on Peacock, and me and my husband have been waiting and waiting for this movie to come out on some type of streaming device. But it is Speak No Evil. It stars James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis. Oh my god, it was so good. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes score gave it 83%. Audience score gave it 84%. I think it deserved 100%. Like, oh, crazy good. Okay, so it is about two families that are on vacation, and like two families that are on vacation in the same spot. They don't know each other, but they kind of keep bumping into each other at this resort or something, and they slowly become friends. And James McAvoy invites the other family. Is like, hey, if you're ever in Devon, I think it's called Devon, I'm not sure. I think it's called Devon, I'm not sure. But he's like, if you're ever in our neck of the woods, come on by. We live in an awesome house, countryside, like blah 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 blah. So the families go their separate ways, and then one family's like, you know what, we do need another break. Let's call them up. They call them up. They schedule a thing, and they go to visit the family in their home or whatever. And they get there, and it's like, oh my god, it's like a dream, it seems like really cool. And then they get into their room, and like their sheets are kind of dirty, and just like they're starting to realize maybe it's not so nice. Like, it was cool with them on vacation. McAvoy's son, he's kind of like a mute. He was born with a tongue that was smaller or something, so he can't really form words right. And that plays a major role in the movie. Major. But so this dreamlike vacation quickly turns into a nightmare. And then I'm not giving anything away because it's in the trailer, but James McAvoy is a bad guy. And he's very scary. Very scary and intense. But he makes the whole movie. James McAvoy, his acting is so intense and terrifying, and it's just great. Like, you will end up screaming at the TV. Like, it's one of those intense things where it's like, run, run, run. You know what I mean? Really, really good. And it's one of those movies where I'm like, I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea. It was so good. But you're gonna hate the husband. Hate him. Okay, the next thing that I watched was on Paramount Plus, but it's on the Showtime option or something. Like, I think it's Showtime through Paramount Plus or something. I don't know how that works. It's called Talk to Me. Talk to Me. It stars Sophie Wilde and Miranda Otto. There's actually a bunch of people in this, but I don't really know who anyone is. Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 94%. Audience score gave it an 82. I kept pushing this movie off because it's made by A24, and A24, most of A24 movies I don't like because they have said themselves they are a woke production company. They are a production company for the newer generations, and that's accurate. It's usually like very young people partying and like, you know what I mean? And I don't like it, so I was just like, eh. But me and my husband, we watched it anyway, because it was kind of like a scary movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. This was a fantastic movie. It wasn't stupid like I thought it was gonna be. It is a group of younger kids. I believe they are in like high school, but okay, a group of, well, people started watching these things like, I guess on TikTok or social media, about a group of their friends who record when their other friends are being possessed. Okay, and they're like, this is crap, let's go to the next party just to see what it is that they're doing, because it's crap, So they go to this party, and there's one person sitting at a table, and there is this, it almost looks like a sculpture type thing, but it's a hand, and it's kind of just like that or something. So you set the hand on this table and you light a candle, because by lighting a candle it opens up the spirit world or something, and blowing the candle out closes the spirit world. I don't know how it works. But you light the candle, you take the hand, and you say, talk to me, or something like that. And then when you say that, a spirit will appear in front of you, and only you, if you're holding the hand, only you can see it. And if you say, watched was a movie on Apple TV. I believe it came out this summer. And I wanted to see it. But I'm glad that I didn't go to the theater to watch it. But it came out on Apple TV. It is called Fly Me to the Moon. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum, and Woody Harrelson. I wanted to see it so bad this summer, but then I can't justify going to the movies to see just me and my husband, like, if I'm gonna go to the movies, I want it to be like a whole family event, and my kids would have cared less about this movie, and my husband, he wouldn't have liked it either. I did not know this, but it was a romantic comedy. Ugh, gross. The trailer made it appear that it was a true story about faking the moon landing. No, that's not what it was about at all. It was a romantic comedy. And yes, the storyline is about faking the moon landing. It says that it was mostly based on true things, which the true things were. There were astronauts who were training for a moon landing, and they advertised things like watches and Tang. That stuff actually happened. But the movie is about how this person in advertising, in like PR, Scarlett Johansson, was contacted by someone in the government, Woody Harrelson, who works for Richard Nixon. They hired her to be the PR for NASA. And as a side thing, she needed to hire a director or something to record a faked moon landing in case they weren't able to make it, because there was a space race, and like Russia was trying to get to the moon first, and everybody wanted to get to the moon first, but America made it there first, but they're like, we can't let Russia beat us, so in case we can't go, we need to pretend that we went, so I need you to record this thing. And I think it's based off of how a lot of people think that the moon landing was faked and like blah blah blah, but they're saying nothing in this movie actually happened. And like, I don't know, I was majorly disappointed with the movie. Like, I just thought it was crap. It could have been so much better, but I didn't enjoy it at all. And the fact that it was a romantic comedy, I didn't care about it at all, and it's just, I think they just picked two celebrities that typically people like. I don't understand the obsession with Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. I don't get it. And I don't understand the Channing Tatum thing either. But I think they just picked two hot people in Hollywood and then put them together. But it's like they had absolute zero chemistry. And it was just, it felt very forced. And I hated it. I hated it. So, but the audience apparently loved it. I don't know if I said the scores, but Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 65, which is more accurate. Audience score gave it a 90%. 90. I'm like, no. So, yeah, I hated it. I hated it. I would say that's all the stuff that I watched in the month of December, but it's not. I watched every Christmas movie, all the classics. I watched some new ones, but like they're Christmas movies, so it's like they're not really good. Most Christmas movies are not good, but I really did like the Dear Santa one. You know, I thought like I would probably watch it again. You know, but if I were to recommend anything, it's three things this month. My Old Ass, that was so good. Speak No Evil, very intense, and Talk to Me, crazy. But My Old Ass was probably my favorite. Anyway, oh my gosh, it's the end of a year. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for